been coming down to Agassiz. He has improved an insane amount from coming to his first drift day here at Agassiz to now competing in the past couple rounds of Grassroots and doing a good job in those rounds too. Yeah, good stuff for Tino. Let's see what he can do in round 2. Judges, I think, have their scores in. They do, and we are going to get set. Here we go. As the lights extinguish, Tino coming out of the chicane. All right, great start for Tino. Here we go, into the touch and go. Tino carrying loads of speed into this outside zone too. Similar to Alex Steins here, filling it, but not all the way. All right, here we go. Tino not having to brake at all. Really doing a good job into the second and third, or the third and fourth outside zone. One of the slower cars, and again, newer competitors, but it does not look like it when Tino's behind the wheel. He is very confident in that. All the way out into that third outside zone, zone 2, and filling the last part of the outside zone 4 really well as well for Tino. Alright, so Alex Steins getting a 55. Alex Steins getting a 55 on his first run. Not a terrible score, but he's definitely going to want to improve that on run number 2. Next up, James Wilson in the Fiesta 240. Just freshened it up with a new turbo. He's up to, I think, 7 pounds loose now, probably making close to 300 horsepower. Here he is, flicking it in 2. Touch and go. James having to slow up a bit, but saving it, coming into outside zone 2 here. Flicking it into the inside flip. Getting a nice transition here. Filling all of outside zone 4. James, another one of our slower cars in the field, but he is doing a great job. Alright, here we go. James, the replay, Nicole, coming up to you. James Wilson with a 33, not a bad score. What is that? Sorry. The 53. Okay, next up we have Hans Loose in this sweet Corvette coming up from Washington. Hans Loose. We love having American guys come out here. They've been showing Baldy, I guess you could say. All these guys, most of them coming out. Let's see what Hans Loose can do in this Corvette. His first qualifying run coming out of the chicane. Here we go. Nice little flick into outside zone 1. Hans just a little shallow, but here we go into this touch and go. Filling it great, not losing any momentum. Oh, great second outside zone for Hans Loose here. Transitioning, getting that inside flip perfectly into these last outside zones. Wow, Hans Loose just getting tired on the last outside zone, but I think we have a new #1 qualifier here. That was a fantastic run. Cole breaks down for him.
has on display here.
Lots of smoke, lots of throttle, very braking. That is what we like to see a driver, special quality. Alright, here we go. And with that, on loose. He is getting a 6.63. Hans loose, 6.63. These judges are tough. Can we get stats up here at first position, 6.63. We have Tino with the fill. Alex Stein, 55. Again, we have Hans Loose with a 6.63. Tino with 58. Alex Stein with 55. Here we go. With his practice car, let's see what he can do. Big handbrake pull to the outside zone 1. Taking away a little too much speed from the engine to get to that touch and go on outside zone 2. Building it well. Finally, let's see what he can do. Right through that inner clip, setting himself up perfectly for outside zone 3 and 4. Pat Lee just needing a little bit more throttle and I think a little less grip. Not a bad run for Pat. He got the car for the most part everywhere he needed to be. But that would be a really hard run to chase, I think. Which I think is kind of the most important thing when it comes to qualifying a lead run is being chaseable. So what did you see, Nicole? What stood out to you this run?
Well, I think that handbrake pull right at the beginning, I threw him off a little bit, but he was able to recover in the second half and run here. Putting it together, looking really good, and so there's our scores. It's going to be a tough one.
I see a very innocent face from one of our judges looking like signaling that not was the most scoring run potentially. Let's see what one of our other judges munches Helmy's deep crowd. Let's see what comes in as 30-3-0 for Pat Lee. He is not going to be too stoked with that score, unfortunately, but it is what it is. He's got one more run to improve himself. I think a little more throttle for Pat Lee. A little less grip. There is a point that you got to get out of these drivers. I don't think any drivers actually made 6 laps before. So qualifying is also some of the practice time. So let's see. You're right. That's what probably the scores will all. Let's see what Shelby can do for that. Here we go. Coming out of the chicane, Shelby. Big flick. Completely missing outside zone 1. Shelby, can he make it into the touch and go? No, he cannot. All right, here we go. Into outside zone 2. Shelby making it through there, filling all of that in through clip 1. Shelby, here we go, improving along on the second half of this course, but just struggling to put that Corvette where he wants it yet. This is a new car for him. I think he's maybe having a new track day on it. So still seems like he's figuring it out a little bit. But overall, looks like a solid car.
As you said, Andrew, this is likely his second day in this car and had a short practice session this morning, so he hasn't had a ton of time behind the wheel here. We've got a chance to bring it together. Hopefully.
Big shout out to Pierogies. We're here next weekend. Their Pierogies are unbelievable. We're getting started out here on the judging. See the helmets go out here we go. Shelby Moreau, 36, improving on Pat Lee. Both those drivers are really going to want to go short in the second round. Next up, we have Mike Stokeman. Let's go. Our second place finisher at round one, Mike Stokeman, looking for the top place on that podium today. Looking solid in practice here all day.
Let's not forget that in round one, Mike also won the right. He laid down a heater, so I'm sure he's hoping to repeat that again today. And as he said, he's at the top spot.
That is true. Mike Stokeman, last time getting the Agassiz Realty Award for Run of the Night. Here, let's see what he can do. Mike going for Run of the Night again, smacking that rear end on the wall somehow. Still looks pretty straight though, into outside zone 2. Let's see if he can finish strong. Mike usually can, into this third outside zone. Great finish for Mike Stokeman, filling these last two zones. Actually, I will say, left outside zone 4 a little early, but I don't even know who the judges will do. Sounds like going for Run of the Night again, smacking that rear end on the wall. Somehow, it still looks pretty straight down into Mike usually can into the third outside zone. Great finish for Mike Stokeman, filling the last two zones. So, left outside zone 4 a little. Unfortunately, yeah. Mike is going up with 0. Looks like just a little bumper damage. Honestly, not bad. It looked like he smashed it a lot hard. So good save from Mike. He put his front end into the thing, and there it is. Mike Stokeman getting a 0, unfortunately, on his first qualifying run. Definitely going to want to improve on that for him too.
If nothing else, we can count on Mike to bring the entertainment. Hopefully he can pull it together for the next qualifying run and get a score on the board. We'd love to see more of that. A little bit up. Again, the whole team has been loving the help of Pierogi. So if you guys are not doing anything next weekend, make sure you come on out to Agassiz. We're going to have Becky here at the big boys in town. He's going to have their food truck, and I believe not one of us
I will say, blame me choppy audio because we're all swapping out of talk. So, big shout out to Elmer's Pierogies. These things are delicious. Look out for the next weekend. They will be very affordable, and they're amazing. But here we are. I don't really understand what the holdup is. Why are we sending another car? Okay, the drone goes up. Here we go. We are going to bring in the Drift Amigo, Mike Perry. When you get a little clean, these tires are a lot more predictable and helps with the engine. So let's see what Mike Perry can do with the Amigos. We have a go for no start time. As well as distinguished Mike Perry going to take off here through that chicane. A lot of drivers, it's interesting to see the drivers enter method. They choose Mike Perry taking the handbrake method. Not a bad one. Setting himself up really well through that touch and go. So really tolerable of chasing it around with Mike Perry. Outside zone 4, smoking him out on the little X-Factor. I would agree. That's some fun. All right, judges saying they like the ending of that round. I would have to agree with you. Mike Perry roasting his tires here right at the end. We are up next. We have Jay Gree. Jay Gree, our oldest competitor here at 72. Jay, great guy. We absolutely love him. Just expanding the field, showing that there's no age limit to drifting. Jay, one of our favorite people out here, always smiling. Tough on himself, which has made him a really good driver and has really improved during this Grassroots series. Jay choosing a little less seat time he really likes to drive with these experienced drivers. It says it's given him a lot of practice and helping him improve a lot. And it shows. He's been winning some battles in our last competition, and I'd say he's usually one of our higher qualifiers, so let's see how he does. Jay carrying loads of speed, flicking it in nicely. Just a little shy on the outside zone 1, but filling all of touch and go. Coming perfectly into outside zone 2. Little shallow at the start, but filling it right in the end. Great transition, keeping his speed consistent through outside zone 3 and into outside zone 4. Really good run by Jay, painting the line of that outside zone right at the end there. Jay, again, 77 years old. We love him. But yeah, showing no age limit when it comes to drifting.
So Andrew, I know you love to bring up his age, but how long has Jay been driving for? Has he been in the driver's seat for all 70 years, 60, 65? Like, what are we looking at here? Or is he a newer driver?
Jay is, I'd say, I think 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 years into driving here, this E40. Actually, I'd say 4. I'd say 4 years into driving. So he's 2 years. This is Jay's 2 years of driving. I'm being corrected up here. Thank you, judges. 2 years of driving, and this is his second competition. So shout out to Jay Gree, 78 years old, still killing it in the drift car. Good stuff, Jay.
And Jay comes in with his 60.
Great run from Jay. Second place qualifier here, just under Hans Loose. Sorry, my mistake. Third place for Jay Green. I apologize for missing Mike Perry's score. Judges rewarding him with X Factor points, getting a 73. Mike Perry, our number 1 qualifier, getting 73. Followed closely by Hans Loose at 63 and Jay Gree at a 60.
So it's just a test that anybody can start doing this and find success.
It truly is. All right, here we go. Speaking of old age, Gaston coming in. Dark Lotus drifting 350Z, flicking it into outside zone 1. Great. Here we go into the touch and go. Gaston, I think this is one of the smoothest runs yet today. Into into outside zone 2, filling it. Little clutch kick to extend that corner. Here we go, transitioning, little handbrake pull through outside zone 3. Shallow in the start, but finishing outside zone 4 with both rear wheels in it. Great first run from Gaston Morrison. I think he's going to be happy with that for his first run. Let's see what he does. Going into the replay, flicking it up into outside zone 1, doing a great job. Keeping that speed, no big decel from Gaston through the touch and go and into outside zone 2. Nicole, what do you see the second half of this run?
I mean, Gaston is one of our veteran drivers. He has a ton of experience under his belt, driving professionally. He's been here for years. We have high expectations for him, so I'm curious to see how the judges are going to score that run. Seems like they're tabulating, getting the numbers in, marking down.
All right, here we go. 56. Gaston Morrison. 56. Top score for the man himself of Hard Knock Stunts. 56 for Gaston Morrison. All right. A lot of people say who let the dogs out, but with this next competitor, we like to say who let the cattle out. Angus Juhas lining up with this sweet brand new paint job, fresh body kit, fresh KP body kit Corvette. Angus, always an absolute treat to watch. This is Angus's first lap of the day, believe it or not, getting no practice. Let's see what he can do in the C5 Corvette. That thing is absolutely slammed to the ground. Flick initiation for Angus into outside zone 1, doing an all right job. Into the touch and go, filling it just as he should. Right into outside zone 2, little slower, but managing to fill the whole thing, transitioning great. Little wide on the inside clip, but filling all of outside zone 3 and 4. Oh, little checkup from Angus, but managed to save it. Again, this is his first lap of the day. He's just figuring it out here, so he's definitely, I'd say, going to improve on his second run, but Nicole breaks down for us.
Well, as you mentioned, Angus is running a brand new body kit and a nice fresh paint job, so I think that, along with not getting any practice this morning, might have played into a little bit of hesitation. It definitely plays with your mind when you're running with new parts. But overall, I think he did a really good job getting it in the zones. It looks like maybe he left the lap zone a little touch early, but overall, quality run, pretty solid.
I'd agree with you. Looked like he just added a little too much angle coming out in that last outside zone. He choked up a bit, but managed to save it. I would say definitely still chaseable. Here we go, 44 for Angus Juhas. 44 with probably the best picture out there. Angus, I think he's 13 in that photo. 44 for Angus Juhas in the C5 Corvette. Probably one of the coolest cars out here, in my opinion. Next up, from under the border, Tanner Emery of Gridlock Drift Team in this black E46 Tanner, a consistent driver here up at the BCDA, always crossing the border, showing his love, and we like to show him our love in return. Here we go, getting the thumbs up from Ian on the start line. Lights are going up. There they go. Tanner Emery through the chicane. Let's see what he can do on his first qualifying run. Tanner taking the flick approach. Big angle from Tanner. Getting some X Factor points there for sure. Just getting into that touch and go though. Here we go. Outside zone 2. Little clutch kick to fill the zone. Tanner, great transition into 3. How does he do into 4? Little shallow. Almost misses the start of it, but not a bad run for Tanner Emery at the Gridlock Drift.
Yeah, we love seeing the Gridlock Drift team growing and coming up here. The majority, if not all, are coming up from the States, I believe. For Tanner here, that was a good effort. Maybe a little bit more snappiness and that transition would be something the judges are looking for. I know they mentioned that a lot in the driver's meeting this morning, and his engine, as you said, a little bit shallow in that last zone.
I think his issue is he was measuring his distances rather than meters. That's a common mistake. So Tanner just having to do a little conversion math on his end, and I think he'll be able to fill all those zones there. Just having to adjust a little bit to the Canadian soil.
Yeah, I mean, the more they come up here, the more they're going to get used to our measurements and the right way to do things, right? We've got to use meters up here, centimeters,
I mean, Tanner himself told me this is his favorite track, and he spelt it with a U in favorite. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my gosh, we're rubbing off on him.
All right, and Tanner Emery with a 56. Tanner Emery with a 56. Not a bad score for his first qualifying run. That'll put him right in the mid-pack there. One of our loudest cars up next. We already gave him a shout out, but we'll give him one again. Helmy's Pierogies, or Helmy's Gourmet Food. If you are here next weekend, come out to Agassiz Speedway for round 2 of the Spec Drift Spec D Pro Series. We will have Helmy's deep fried mini pierogies on tap for you to get at your convenience. I don't even know if you actually heard any of that because I didn't hear it. Next up, Dakota Jansen, the pierogi man. Let's see what he can do coming through the start chicane. I love the white wheels on that car. It's a huge improvement. Big handbrake initiation from Dakota. Sets himself up well though. Tons of angle through that touch and go. A little bit of a bobble though, transitioning to outside zone 2. Let's see how he flicks. Strong flick, no decel from Dakota. Just what the judges wanted to see. Really good run. Absolutely roasting his tires. Dakota, unfortunately though, looks like outside zone 3 and 4. Just having a little issue filling them all the way. Nicole, tell me what you think of the pierogies. Tell me what you think of the run.
The pierogies are amazing. I feel like they might have been a little bit of a bribe up here. Dakota knows how to get to the judge's heart. Always through the stomach. His run, he spent a lot of time working on this engine here, doing the wheel, and they were taking away, pulling in every little detail they could to get this right. Get behind the wheel a lot this year, a lot more easy. We're just hoping they can run this right together.
All right. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's see what the judges have to say. But that was our last qualifying run. We only got 13 runs.
So Andrew, do you want to run us?
Jose, we are looking for Jose Imamura. You need to do your qualifying run. If you are not here in the next 2 minutes, you are, or actually I would say 10 seconds, and you are going to lose your qualifying spot.
While we're waiting to see it pull up, why don't we have some practice shaping up?
Alrighty, so we can go right down the list here. We have our first position, Mike Perry, coming in with a 73. Again, number 1 qualifier through our first runs are 73. Let's see, we just got the call. Dakota Jansen getting a 62. Dakota Jansen getting a 62 of Helmy's pierogies. I would say I ate about 62 of these deep fried mini pierogies today, so that checks out. Again, we have Mike Perry, number 1 qualifier, 73. Hans Alous with a 63. Jay Gree, the oldest competitor ever, with a 60. Tino with a 58. Gaston Morrison with a 56. Alex Steins, 55. James Wilson with a 53. Pat Lee with a 30. Shelby Moreau in position 8 with a 36. Pat Lee in number 9 with a 30, and Angus Juhog with a 15. Angus with a 15, unfortunately. I must have read that wrong on the screen. My bad. All right, well, we have a re-racked the bracket. We are back to the start. Alex Steins coming in for his second qualifying run. The lights are extinguishing. Here we go. Alex Steins off the line through the chicane. Great speed, Alex Steins. That's the coolest I've seen that. That is what the judges have been looking for all day. Into outside zone 2, filling all of it. Alex Steins great through that first inner clip and outside zone 3. Little left foot brake. Keeping. Wow, painting the line. Alex Steins, I can confidently say I think that will be our new #1 qualifier. Could have added a little more angle, but I mean, talk about putting the car where it's supposed to be. Nicole, what'd you think of that?
I mean, really, when we're talking about adding a little bit more angle here, we're really splitting hairs and taking on tiny little changes that these drivers can make, because that was an excellent run. It looks like Alex got some juice in the brake there in between runs and warmed up. He's feeling good. Let's see what the judges come in with here.
Yeah, I think it doesn't really matter either way. I think he'll definitely score higher than his first run. I can confidently say that. Again, we'd like to thank one of our sponsors, Ryan Bogasinski Realty, for giving that he's got a sweet award for the coolest run of the day.
I think everyone's gunning for this award. I've heard a lot of chatter about it in the pits. They've got not only a cool trophy, but it comes with a cool $500 cash.
Okay, that's a good couple sets of tires right there. That's not bad at all. We would also like to, while we just have a little bit of time here, let's think. Oh, 74, Alex Steins coming in with a 74 on his second qualifying run. Great job. That puts him into the #1 spot for qualifying here. Great start.
He says he's risking it for the biscuit.
Great run from Alex Steins. Very happy with himself. Lordco Auto, Destino Tires, Augmented Racing, again, Ryan Bogasinski Realty, Race Gear, Fountain Tire Kilowatt, 110 Hobbies, Excel Auto Glass, Still Real Productions, Genetic Science, and Fish Tech Racing. Here we go. Tino coming in for his second outside
This is one of my favorite cars to watch because, like you said, it stands out, it has its eye. It's just something a little bit different in our grid that we don't get to see too often. So it always fun to watch. One of the cool things that we're adding into our live stream is that we're going to have some interviews later. So hopefully they pop down to our booth and we get a chance to kind of dig into it.
the car he's got, not a bad run. James Wilson putting it together here for his second outside, or for his second qualifying run.
Here, he probably is up there in most laps on this track, so he knows it like the back of his hand. He's run countless different layouts here. But one of the greatest things about him is he's always just out here to have a good time. He's here for fun. We love the sombrero on top of his car.
I was going to say, if you can't tell by the sombrero and the flag off the back of his car, James is here to party, even in competition.
And that's what we like to see from these drivers, you know. Competition and a little bit of good sportsmanship goes a long way, but we want you guys out here having fun, sharing smiles, you know, shaking hands in the pits, making friends. That's what it's all about.
What would you say your favorite part of drifting, or the drifting community is, Nicole?
Oh man, I think my favorite part is going to have to be when I first came in, super nervous, and just being greeted with smiles and, you know, an open learning opportunity. Everyone's willing to share and teach you about what's going on, and it kind of brings you up real quick.
I would agree with you quickly, though. James Wilson with a 49. James Wilson coming in with a 49 for his second qualifying run. Unfortunately, I think that is not higher than his first one, but it is a score on the board, and he will be in the competition. But I would have to agree with you, Nicole. I think drifting is the difference between drifting and racing is the fact that it seems like drifting, even when you're a competitor, everyone's out to help each other. There's no one really, as much as you are here in it for yourself, and it's not always looked at as a team sport. If you go into the pits, you would think this is one big team because everyone's willing to help each other. And it's a very encouraging environment here at the BCDA. Specifically, I would say we are extremely lucky with the drivers that we got. Woo, little tire smoke coming into the judging booth. Let's see Hans Loose coming in for run number 2. Hans Loose with an aggressive start to this run, getting into touch and go 1. Here we go, right out into outside zone 2. Nothing but throttle from the Loose man. Let's see how he does. Outside zone 3, little left foot brake, keeping him exactly where he needs to be. Unfortunately, going just a tire off there through that outside zone 4. He will be deducted for that, but otherwise, I'd say Hans Loose, one of our most exciting runs we've seen all day here in qualifying. Nicole, what do you like about this run?
I mean, excellent run from Hans. You know, Hans Loose trying to keep tight on the line there. Everything he put together here looked really good. Maybe a few minor mistakes that might deduct him a little bit, but all around, really quality, solid run here.
What did you not like about the run, Nicole?
What did I not like? Oh my gosh, what's there to not like? Maybe he dropped a tire, that's about it.
I would agree. I think for the most part, there was really nothing not to love with that run other than, unfortunately, a little bit of a tire drop on that outside zone 4 for Mr. Loose. The Loose man.
I guess we're going to have to see if the judges agree with us or not. Numbers are coming in, they're tabulating. And here we go. Hans Loose coming in with a 70, looking pretty solid. We like to see it.
3 X Factor points too, not bad. Hans Loose with a 7-0. All right, next up, one of the OGs, Dark Lotus Drift Team, is Shelby Moreau in his gold and black Corvette here with the fresh KBD kit as well. Shelby looking good. Let's having a little bit of trouble on his first run, coming in with a 36. Let's see if he can clean it up for run number 2. We have the okay from the start line. Lights go up, lights go off. Here we go. Shelby Moreau through the chicane. Can he improve on his 36? Let's hope so. Little handbrake, there he goes into outside zone 1, just barely, but got into it this time. Touch and go, good for Shelby. A little bit of an issue transitioning to outside zone 2. Let's see how he does on the inside clip and into outside zone 3. Not bad. Big handbrake pull though from Shelby. I think a little after the decel zone 2, if I'm correct from the track map. The decel zone is before outside zone 3 rather than in outside zone 3. So I'm curious how the judges will score that here. Judges watching the replay. Nicole, tell me what you're seeing in the replay.
I mean, we see Shelby go a little bit shallow in the first half of the run here, and then he tries to flick it in hard after the transition and get nice and deep in those zones. But like you said, a little bit of a handbrake pull in the decel, maybe outside of that zone. The judges are really taking into consideration every little second here. They're watching the replay, writing out their numbers. We're hearing a little bit of discussion here. We're going to have to see what they come through with. What do you think, Andrew?
I don't know. I'm thinking I'm really happy I'm not a judge right now, is what I'm thinking.
I was going to say, this is one of those moments where I'm glad that I'm on this side and not standing over with the judges, because they have a tough job. But here we go. Shelby coming in with a 49. Is that what we expected, Andrew? What do you think?
A 49, honestly higher than I expected. Seeing with other people getting 55s and 60s with their runs. But that's why I'm not a judge. I'm the one on the mic. So good score for Shelby. That'll get him in the show for sure. Definitely improving on his 36. Let's see if next up we have Pat of a Bush League Drift Team and Certified Auto Sound. Pat Lee in this in his Grassroots, you could say, 350Z. Pat driving a pro car. He's got a 350Z that's built for Specty as well. And this is, I think he's just kind of out for a practice round before next weekend. So let's see if this shows what next weekend's going to look like. Come on, Pat, let's see what you got. Lots of speed into the outside zone one. Big handbrake pull, but it sets himself up into that touch and go and well into outside zone 2. Great start from Pat Lee. How does he finish up? Flick. Little bit of a handbrake pull on transition, but managing to get the car where he wants it. Definitely going to be an improvement on his 30 from last run, but I think still places for improvement, but not a bad run overall.
Maybe not the run that he was hoping to lay down, but still a solid run overall. Making a lot of improvements, like you said, from his first qualifying run where he ended up with a 30. You know, hoping that the judges can score a little bit higher for this one and he can put it together.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Nicole. I think, yeah, Pat Lee just getting the car where it needs to be, just not with a lot of style, unfortunately. I don't know if he's just got a lot of grip put in that 350Z right now or what's going on, but yeah, he'll definitely will improve on his 30, that's for sure. Scores are in. They are popping up. Let's see what he does. 51 for Pat Lee of Certified Auto Sound. 51 for Pat Lee. Not a bad start.
Not bad, and like you said, definitely an improvement. And as you mentioned earlier, he's here likely testing for next week, so I don't think there's a lot of pressure for him here. He's just out here having a good time in his C car, getting comfortable. And it sounds like we've got the go-ahead to send the next car out.
Alrighty, here we go. We have up next Stokeman, Mike Stokeman, again winning our Ryan Bogasinski Realty run of the night last event. He's definitely going to go for that. He was for sure going for that run number 1, getting a big wall tap, but I think he's going to probably try and plan to keep it a little farther off the wall on this initiation, but who knows? He's got the name Stokeman for a reason. Great initiation from Mike, putting the car exactly where it needs to be with a ton of angle. Oh, a little bit too hard of a transition, just going shallow on outside zone 2, but the second half of the run, absolutely phenomenal for Mike Stokeman, getting the car out there just a touch shallow again on outside zone 4. The driver is having a bit of difficulty filling all these zones. I can't blame him. It's not an easy track, that's for sure. But Mike Stokeman, yeah, doing what he needed to do for the most part. Nicole, tell me what you think about it.
Like I said on his first run, we know that Mike is always going to bring a bit of X factor. He's always got the entertainment. He's out here just having a good time, putting it together, lots of smoke, giving the fans what they want to see. And this time he was able to keep it off the wall. So definitely an improvement. Let's hope he gets a score this time.
Let's hope so. Forgot about that. Lots of pressure for the Stoke man. He's coming off a 0. I mean, a 6-0. There is a difference between a 0 and a 6-0. Mike got a 6-0.
Yeah, coming off second place, an extra award in last event, and then having a 0 in your first qualifying run. You know, it does something to the ego, but like you said, a 6-0 is better than a 0.
Right, so we're going with that. A 6-0 for run number 1. Let's see what he gets for run number 2. Judges deliberating, but it seems like they got their scores in. We are going to have them on the screen here. 53. A 53 for the Stoke man. So not a bad second run from Mr. Mike.
Definitely getting Mike a spot in the grid. We like to see that. Next up, who do we have here, Andrew?
We have Mike Perry, another Mike, in an a blue E36, just a little darker of a blue. Mike Perry of Drift Amigos. He is our second qualifier right now with a 73. Let's see what he can do for his second run. Mike Perry coming in. Lots of speed. Great initiation right into outside zone 1. Great start for Mr. Perry. Through the touch and go, setting himself up really well, pouring on the angle and smoke. Mike Perry, really fast transition. Oh, tapping that wall, unfortunately straightening out. Mike Perry going for those X Factor points. Doesn't look bad at all, but again, another blue E36 with a 6-0, unfortunately. Not just a 0, but a 6-0. Yeah, 2 Mikes. 2 blue E36s, 2 6-0s. Here we go. Let's see this flick. Oh, just a touch wide. That would if he, I mean, hesitation, it gets all of us, and it looks like, unfortunately, Mike really just wanted to fill that outside zone, just a touch late on throttle there, kissing the wall, but Mike Perry doing a great job here.
He came in with lots of speed, definitely what we like to see. He had a big X factor going in there, but unfortunately just a little too much sauce on that outer zone 3 where he ends up in the barrier.
I think that's kind of what happens when your drift team is called the Drift Amigos. You're just here to party always, and unfortunately the party finds you. Even when you survey. No cervezas for Mike Perry, but it looks like his car could use a cerveza after this one. But Mike Perry with a 6-0. Good stuff for Mike. He's still going to be in the show. Mike getting a 73 on his first run. He is currently our number 2 qualifier. So he was just showing out, seeing if he could get number 1 again. But unfortunately, tapping the wall a little too hard. But next up, we have our oldest competitor coming in at 97 years old, Jay Gree. We love him to death, showing that age, there's no limit when it comes to age and drifting. Everyone accepts Jay. Let's see what he can do. 97 years old, out of assisted living, on the racetrack. Great through outside zone 1, filling all of touch and go. Let's go, Jay. Tons of angle, all the way through outside zone 2. I'd say probably the best we've seen it today. Great flick, setting himself up a little wide on the inside clip, but well into outside zone 3 and 4. Jay Gree, 97 years old. That might be a 97-point run.
Andrew, you gotta let us in on the joke. Why does his age keep changing every time he does a lap?
Jay actually isn't Jay really isn't that old. I just like calling him an old man because he always, Jay's a family man. He brings his daughter to the track all the time. He is one of the best sports when it comes to drifting. He's always got a smile on his face, and he's improving really quick too. So I don't know why. I just started calling Jay old one time, and I just haven't stopped. So I love you, Jay. But we are getting pretty deep into our qualifying runs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Drift and Dakota Jansen of Helmy's Pierogies.
Touching back on what you said earlier, Andrew, you know, this is a really big family sport. A lot of our drivers, they're out here with their wives, their girlfriends, their kids, their nephews, their kids' friends. You know, it's really family friendly on the spectator and on the driver's side. And I think there is a new in our BCDA family, isn't there?
Cole, I was trying to read the score. It is a 60 for Jay Grimm, up in our top 5 for qualifying. Great second run.
Definitely not driving like a grandpa.
No hesitation. His feet. And we made these guys sprint down the back straight. But I would like to point out, as much as I say Jay's to Jay, all right, here we go. Gaston, I need to stop ranting. Flicking. Tons of angle, unfortunately. Straight's going to keep running the second half of this just for some practice here, but to me, when it comes to Gaston,
I pulled the camera out and I just really threw him off there, guys. Sorry.
I got probably luck when it comes to this, so I hide up there. Over-rotate, well, just throwing a little too much angle bank into an inside, it really bounces and shifts, and you can end up binding your front. And unfortunately, getting a 0 on his second qualifying run. He's still in the comp. Gaston, one of our OG drivers here. Hard Knocks stuff. Gaston, I don't really. We all very much enjoyed the Mr. T photo. I think the fence broke on someone's property because we have an Angus on. Animal behind the wheel. One of our younger drivers, but you wouldn't be able to. Aggressive with this Corvette, always pouring out the smoke, always at angle. Let's see what he can do coming into on his first run, just almost looping it. Improve on the 15, as much as I know he does like the challenge. Juhas in this KBD C5 Corvette. Scared of the wall at all. Great start from Angus. Inside zone 2 though, pouring on the smoke. Angus with a really nice 3 and 4. Great second run from Angus. Tell me what you think from looking at the replay.
I definitely agree with you. This is going to be. He's given us a bit of X factor, tons of smoke, lots of angle, nice quick to be, and really listening to what the judges said in the drivers' meeting this morning.
Overhearing the judges, looks like they, sounds like they like this run quite. Improve on. That's kind of the hard part of drifting, is when you really get to, it's really hard to be stoked on a run because you're always scrutinized. So that's just how it goes in drifting, and that's how you get to pushing your car.
I think I can confidently say that Clinton enjoyed here.
Clinton, when there's smoke, Clinton tends to get his jiggy going a little bit. All right, here we go. Angus with a 64, a great second run.